Good morning and thank you for joining us on the Tammie Tubbs Show. It is a great day to be alive, but in a fast society that we live in, we're so in rush of, and we don't really have time to eat healthy. So on today, my special guest, Mr. Sam Mclemore, as many of you know him as Farmer Sam, he's going to encourage us to eat healthy. You know what? Healthy produce equal happy people. So we'll see you very soon. Stay tuned.
Celebration time. Ooh, yeah, yeah. It's a celebration day.
Hi, I'm back and I want to encourage you on today to watch what you eat. If no one ever told you, listen to the words that I'm saying right now. You are exactly what you eat. And I want to encourage you and empower you today to listen not only with your mind, but with your heart, that you will make some transitions in your life for a healthier lifestyle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us, Farmer Sam.
Glad to be here.
Now, you are back in the Starkville community, but you are native of Port Gibson. Give us some insight about you and who you are.
I grew up in Port Gibson, Mississippi, a small rural town, less than 2,000 folks. Mm-hmm. Both of my parents grew up on a farm and on farms in Franklin County, and which is just southeast of there. They both moved away from the farm and started raising a family there in Port Gibson. We didn't have too much of a garden starting off, but mm-hmm. I grew a lot of sunflowers and hot peppers.
You transitioned to Starkville, and you're a graduate of MSU.
I went to Starkville for the landscape contracting program, graduated in 2009, and I worked for a landscape company for a little while and started gardening in my own yard, mm-hmm. Growing vegetables for my family and my wife and I, and trying to reduce our grocery bill as well as improve our own health, and knowing what we eat, being able to see what we're eating.
Yeah.
So I was able to grow a garden for ourselves, and we had plenty to give away. Mm-hmm. So we decided to start growing for some friends. We started a business last year as Bountiful Harvest Farms, and we are currently deliver vegetables to 10 families every week. And currently we're dealing with the winter season, which is mostly greens mm-hmm. and carrots. We've had some beets and radishes along the way, and we're looking to a bountiful year this year. Awesome,
awesome. Now, when I say the letters CSA, some people automatically, oh, we know what that is. What exactly does that mean to you, CSA?
CSA goes a long way back. My meaning for CSA is community-supported agriculture. Mm-hmm. Community-supported agriculture goes to the ancient times, when there were a few farmers or many farmers for many more people. Mm-hmm. And we've gotten away from that. Now we have just a few farmers for a lot of people. They say that less than 1% of the American population are farmers today. Mm-hmm. And less than half of those are actually growing the food that we directly consume every day. So we've gotten away from the community garden, the community food resource. In just recent history, small family farms grew most of what they ate, mm-hmm. as well as provided for the folks that couldn't grow it. And so I'm providing that opportunity to families here in town that don't have the time or the space or the skills to grow all of their food. We're not providing them all of their food, but mm-hmm. just a portion of it right now. So.
Wonderful. Now, we're looking here. I know someone is actually watching us right now. We do have some fresh carrots, and these are some that were actually grown in your garden, right?
Correct.
Tell us just the process of how this produces. What do you actually don't use any machinery, equipment, just hard work and just, right?
Yes.
I'm like, when I read that, I was like, seriously?
You got it.
So just manpower.
It's all human power. I have used, in my backyard, I have not used any machines at all.
These are beautiful.
These were grown in raised beds, a little bit of clay soil and a lot of amended soil, mm-hmm. With mainly composted leaves, mm-hmm. And grass clippings from my yard and neighbors' yards. So I planted a seed. Those were about 85 days ago. And some of them were kind of crowded, is why they're a little smaller. But it takes about 75 to 85 days to grow a decent carrot.
Okay.
So I planted a whole bunch of little bitty seeds back last fall, and that's what we've got now.
Wonderful. Where does that inspiration come? Because I can tell that you are very, just like, this is my life, my passion. Where does that passion come from? Coming from the landscaping until farming?
Landscaping is dealing with plants already, and so I was very familiar with growing plants and handling plants and planting and caring for them. But it takes another step when the plants are producing for you and not just visually for you. You know, flowers are pretty, and I love flowers, but whenever it flowers and makes a beautiful leaf that I can then eat, and that I know what went on it and what was used to grow it, it makes me much happier, and it makes me extremely happy to provide healthy food for people. That's been one of the biggest pluses for this year is sharing in the joy of fresh local food. And it always makes people light up to think about gardens or to think about food growing. Many people's grandparents grew great, huge gardens.
Yes.
And we've kind of slipped away from that. Both sets of my grandparents had large gardens and were farmers, and so they raised food, and they raised it for their family, and they knew what went into their food. And now that I'm able to get back to that, it just brings up just a wealth of joy to know that I'm providing for me and my family and for many people in the community.
I'm having just fond memories right now because I can remember getting off of the school bus and my grandmother saying, "Hey, get that hat and come on out here, gal." I would put on a hat and go to the garden. Certainly. Where she would have tomatoes and squash and of course okra, watermelon. That was our way of life. Of course, she did visit the grocery store, and then there were chickens who produced the eggs. So I often tell you all, I am a country girl. I know how to make it happen. But as a whole, like society, we have moved forward. It's like it's the past, it's over, because we're such in a high, fast-paced society.
Certainly.
So why do you feel that we've left the farming, the gardening behind to what we see in the media?
Yeah, the convenience factor, I think, has certainly been one thing. There's a lot more folks living in a tighter area. A lot of the agriculture land has been taken over by suburbs. We've built houses on old farms. There's numerous dairy farms just within a rock's throwing distance of Starkville that have been turned into suburban houses and neighborhoods. And so that land that was once productive land as a food source is now growing homes. But we can grow food right around our home, in our landscape beds, our flower beds, just a pot on the front porch.
Hold on one moment. Thank you. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the Bountiful Harvest Farms. We'll be right back. I'll see you soon.
This week in the Drop Zone at Carlock Kia. Up to $5,000 off Sorrentos and Sedonas in a Drop Zone. Up to $4,000 off Sportages and Optimas in a Drop Zone. Up to $3,000 off Fortes in a Drop Zone. Plus a huge selection of Rios and Souls. Carlock Kia has them all. This week in the Drop Zone at Mississippi's #1 Kia dealer, Carlock Kia, where everybody rides. Bad credit? Forget it! You've just been pardoned from past credit problems because Carlock Kia issues you credit amnesty. Yes, it's true. Carlock Kia wants to finance you no matter what your credit looks like. Drive any vehicle like the 2012 Kia Sorento crossover for $0 down, $99 a month with a huge selection to choose from. Divorce? Okay. Bankruptcy? Okay. Repo? Okay. You're approved with credit amnesty. Now is your chance to buy at Carlock Kia, where everybody rides.
Well, former Sam, we ended the last segment and we were talking about how we've transitioned from just farming, gardening and growing our own produce to going to the grocery stores, just picking up, or just making sure that we don't put that love into gardening. And you were sharing with us why, because of convenience. Now, your motto is healthy produce equal happy people. Why? Tell us a little bit about that.
It goes back to the thinking about the fond memories of your grandparents growing gardens and having that happy memory. If I'm growing healthy produce, healthy greens, the people are happy to receive it. They're happy, they feel better when they're eating healthy produce. Whenever I'm able to grow something for somebody, I'm happier whenever they're happy that they receive it.
Of course.
So it just builds all the way around. And so when I'm even happier because I'm eating the produce as well. So
yeah, you can see the fruits of your labor.
Absolutely.
And you're able to share with the people that you love the most, for the most part. And you say you have 10 families that you distribute to now.
Correct.
And I've heard that you are increasing tremendously.
Certainly.
Tremendously. Well, let's go through. You have a display here. Tell us a little bit of what you have. I know I see the kale, the baby broccoli.
We've got a little bit of spinach here.
Okay.
This is a spicy green called arugula, and it's a excellent salad green that has almost a mustard flavor to it. If you like mustard greens, the arugula is a really good taste.
Okay.
Now, they look a lot like collards, and these are a small looking collard green, but they're actually kohlrabi greens. Kohlrabi is a plant from Asia or Eurasia that is real similar to collards or cabbage. It grows an enlarged stem that can get to the size of a softball, and the stem is excellent as a raw bite to eat in your salad, or put it in a stir fry, or saute it, or you can even bake it. Another one here is Jacinto kale, or dinosaur kale. And kale, they claim, is a superfood containing numerous vitamins and essential minerals that our bodies need. Okay,
so this is a kale, and then you have here, now this is the kale that I'm familiar with. I did a little experiment with what they call edible arrangements, where they put it in the container and then they put all the kale around it to keep the fruit fresh once we begin to design it, for the most part. So this is the Pacific kale, and this is
Jacinto, and this is winter boar kale.
Okay.
And these right here are available at all the garden centers, Lowe's, Walmart, the co-op. You can get that almost anywhere right now.
Okay.
Along with, these are two different types of lettuces. And then this one here with the red stems and also some yellow and white stems is called Swiss chard.
Okay.
Swiss chard is real similar to spinach in the way that it tastes and the actual texture. But it also has those pretty stems that I just think brighten up a salad.
Wow. Now you go into the school systems, I guess farming to school. How are your days filled when you're dealing with those little ones?
Oh goodness, the little ones, I look forward to going to the 4th grade class that I meet with every week. I also have worked with a summer camp at Ward Stewart, and my wife is a kindergarten teacher, and just outside of her classroom is the Suddeth Seeds Garden. So I've been able to go and meet with these classes and just share some of my passion of growing, and to get them to taste some food and to watch it grow, and to actually take care of the plants themselves, to give them the skills that they need to grow some food, and to just expose them that it's really not that hard to grow some of our food, and knowing what goes into growing our food is really important.
Wow. Now there's some parents that are listening and saying, I cannot even manipulate my children to eat vegetables. What do you do to encourage them to eat healthier when you're teaching them?
The biggest thing is allowing them to take part in the creation of it. The kindergarten class all planted a small broccoli plant last fall, and they all got to harvest their own broccoli heads. They were larger than this, but this is a secondary head that they all got to try the broccoli. Some of them had never seen broccoli before, and so it really sparked that. Well, this isn't that bad. I grew it myself, so it must be good. And the fourth grade class has really taken a shine to growing all of the winter crops. We just planted potatoes yesterday, and we're looking forward to harvesting those just before the end of school. They're all excited about possibly getting to try some baked potatoes, and who knows how else we'll fix them.
Now, I'm going to say this. Trinity told me not to, but I am. You all were planting the potatoes, the process. There are certain worms that are great for the potatoes?
Absolutely. Well, there's the earthworms are great to have in our gardens, period. The earthworm is going to do more for our garden than we can do for our garden, in the fact that they're going to break down the bits of roots and other plants that are in the soil, and they're going to take down the leaves off of the surface of the soil and turn that into nutrients for our plants. They're also allowing air and water to get down into the roots where the plants really need them. And so if you've got a healthy group of earthworms living in your garden area, you've got a healthy garden. And that's one thing that benefits from not tilling our ground so much and really disturbing the ground. We're not going to kill all of those earthworms off, and also we're not using pesticides that could damage them as well. And so the worms just make a great nutrient dense area for us.
Okay. One question before we go to a commercial break. Now, you all actually, I call it you're being a blessing to others. You do sow into the lives of the less fortunate. Give us some insight about how you, sometimes I give the produce to the less fortunate, or how do you all sow? That's what I call it.
A lot of times I've had folks just that have stopped by the garden, and they've asked if I had any greens for sale or anything for sale, and I've had, there's times that there's a lot of extra, and I couldn't give it all away because I've given my members so much of the greens already, and so I'm able to share those through the community. I've got a few friends that have stopped by quite regular now.
Amen. Well, we're going to be right back, and you're going to see us get into the soil and actually show you how it's done, and you can do it in a pot right in the company of your own home. We'll be right back.
This week in the Drop Zone at Carlock Kia. Up to $5,000 off Sorrentos and Sedonas in a Drop Zone. Up to $4,000 off Sportages and Optimas in a Drop Zone. Up to $3,000 off Fortes in a Drop Zone. Plus a huge selection of Rios and Souls. Carlock Kia has them all. This week in the Drop Zone at Mississippi's #1 Kia dealer, Carlock Kia, where everybody rides. Bad credit? Forget it! You've just been pardoned from past credit problems because Carlock Kia issues you credit amnesty. Yes, it's true. Carlock Kia wants to finance you no matter what your credit looks like. Drive any vehicle like the 2012 Kia Sorento crossover for 0 down, $99 a month with a huge selection to choose from. Divorce? Okay. Bankruptcy? Okay. Repo? Okay. You're approved with credit amnesty. Now is your chance to buy at Carlock Kia, where everybody rides.
It's coming March 31st, 2012, Starkville Sportsplex, Designed to Shine Woman-to-Woman Conference 2012 with Tammie Tubbs. Their motto is, we're lining our lips with love, adorning ourselves with pearls of wisdom, and taking back what rightfully belonged to us. Workshop sessions focused on women, health, wellness, natural remedies for hair, skin, and body, and more. Vendor space is available. For more information, call 662-418-0633 or 404-434-6004 or visit TammieTubbs.com to register. The Woman-to-Woman Conference, March 31st, 9 a.m. until 2 p.m.
All right, we're back, Farmer Sam. You're busy now. You're over there. Tell me exactly what you're doing right now.
Right now, I'm punching out the bottom holes of the container garden, or of our container. And it's real important to have the holes in the bottom so that we don't drown our plants. We want our water to be able to flow through, and as water flows through the soil, it actually pulls oxygen into the soil.
Okay.
We know that the plants need actually they need the CO2, the air, into their soil, into the roots.
Okay, so what are we about to do right now? What are we doing?
So we've got just a simple container, and the container can be anything from a fancy pot you purchase at Lowe's or wherever. It could be just a old box that you have. I've planted in cardboard boxes. I've planted in actually the bag of potting soil itself. But just we got a nice looking container today, and so our vegetables will look nice growing as well.
Wonderful.
So this one we'll just simply fill up the base part of the
Now you're
pot.
filling it. I see Miracle Grow. Tell us exactly what you have.
This one is the Organic Choice Miracle Grow. This was available at Lowe's today, and this is the garden soil. Typically for a pot you want to choose one with the potting soil, but they didn't have the Organic Choice potting soil. I'm not sure why, but I always lean for the Organic Choice. I don't typically use Miracle Grow in my garden at home, but I have used the Miracle Grow potting soils before with great success. And it's a real simple way to get started. As long as you have a good quality potting medium that is loose stuff and not the heavy clay.
Okay.
That way it'll hold lots of nutrients and plenty of water.
So I'll hold this as you're going. And I see that it's good for vegetables, fruits, flowers, and herbs. And we're going to talk a little bit later on about those herbs as well. It's going in. It's bringing back so many memories. And I still know a few people that actually grow their own fresh squash, their fresh peas, all of that. So do you level it off?
Yeah. And so I'd be sure that I break up any of the big clumps that were already in there. And we don't want to leave any big air pockets or anything in there, so we want to have it all nice and loose.
Okay.
And it's a good dark consistency. This is full of mostly, actually, I think it's all organic matter. There's not even sand or clay in here.
Okay.
So we kind of level it off, and we can plant a couple of different things in this pot. There's a little bit more than 1 square foot on the surface of this. And with 1 square foot, you can grow 16 lettuce plants,
Wow.
1 tomato plant or 1 potato plant because they require more space, 1 large pepper, 1 large eggplant. You could grow some squash. They aren't going to get as large. But it's real easy to start off with some small plants like lettuce, the Swiss chard, or the onions.
The onions,
so
we
yeah.
talk a little bit about those earlier.
So let's put a couple of onions in here.
Okay.
And then we'll also put in a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of Swiss chard, and one of the kales. And I like to mix my containers up.
And why is that?
I like to be able to pick a little bit off of each thing as the season goes on. And some I'll pick most of and be able to get quite a bit of harvest off of it.
So those are onions.
So these are just green onions. They're out in the garden centers right now. These are the Texas sweet onion. So about June, the onions will be ready. If you go ahead and plant them now, they'll be ready. And they've got kind of wild looking roots. The easy thing with onions is you could just throw them at the pot and they're going to grow. They are so simple. But I like to kind of space things out a little bit so that they're not too crowded. And we want to make it look nice as well. This is, it could be on our porch instead of having just flowers on our porch welcoming folks into our yard. We can have a nice...
There you go. We can actually see them growing, the onions. Now is this lettuce? Did I pick it right?
That's right.
Yes!
This is a
It's coming
butter
back to
crunch
me.
lettuce.
Okay.
Has a real nice sweet flavor. And we kind of ease them out. Now lettuce is another really tough plant that is very easy to transplant. And that's what we're doing today, is planting from transplants. And we could also just sprinkle some seeds on this pot and give them some water and some love, and they would grow just as well. The transplants just give you a head start. Yeah, let's do another one.
Okay.
And then let's grab a Swiss chard.
Now I see the kale. Now
The red stems.
Like he said, the red stems. Thank you.
Sure, sure.
Let's see.
So we just cover back around the plant there,
like
so that the top of the soil where it was already growing is just covered.
All right. You see it now? There we are. Now that's the Swiss chard that you said with the red stems.
Yeah, that's it. And I just loosen up the bottom just a little bit.
Okay.
And then they pull out pretty easily. And that one pulled off a little short, but that's okay.
Wow. And do they require a lot of water?
Depending on your potting soil.
Okay.
And the best way to check for water, or check to see if they need more water, is just to stick your finger down in there, and about the length of your finger, if it's not moist feeling down there, it needs a little bit of water. And if the surface is really dry looking, it'll be almost gray, you'll know that it needs some water. Another thing is if it kind of squeezes together and holds together a little bit, there's plenty of moisture there.
Okay. Now here's the kale.
Let's put one of those kales in the middle there. And kale is in the same family with cabbage. Now lettuce is a different family, and Swiss chard is actually in the family with beets.
Okay.
So
One in.
put that guy right in the middle. The kale will get larger than these other plants.
And everything that we're growing here, that we're actually, as I say, we're potting right now, is very healthy for us.
Oh yes.
We should have it in our daily, diets every day.
Yes.
Especially because they're green, leafy vegetables, and it kind of helps us as far as giving us energy for the most part, but just having a longer life. I remember my grandmother, and she was, I call her one of those that loved Mother Earth, where she grew tomatoes, as we said earlier, everything that she grew, and she lived 98. So I know that it was the food, of course, praying to God, but it's what you eat. Healthier foods give you more energy, and you're definitely, passionate about just living life to the fullest. Now, we have a little bit of time. Let's oregano.
This is a really great fragrant herb that's very easy to
rosemary
get going.
as well. Well, I know you all have so enjoyed this. We're going to do another show because I want to plant those potatoes.
Sure.
But before we go, I want to let them know that you were featured in the Town and Gown magazine, which is part of the Starkville Daily News. If you want more information, please go. It's free, totally free. Pick it up, read it, and enjoy. And last but not least, if they want to find you, you're actually on Facebook,
Absolutely.
Bountiful Harvest Farms, and he'll take care of you. Join us. You know what? You are what you eat. I love you so very much. God bless you, and I will see you next time on the Tammie Tubbs Show. Be blessed. Thank you.
Yeah, celebration time. Ooh, yeah, yeah. It's a celebration day. Yeah, celebration time.